So welcome all panelists. Thank you so much for joining this session today. So to open the stage, I would like to ask to all panelists here to help also the audience to better understand about today's topic. So could each panelist briefly explain why energy is considered as the backbone of smart cities development? Maybe to Dr. Muzzammil. Mr. Farabi first.
Thank you very much, Rika. I thought you upgrade me to become doctor today. Okay, thank you very much, everyone here. Very good morning. When we talk about smart city and energy especially, we know that smart city is about how people connect, live and move. So these are the principles that always embedded in the smart city. So if you look at the Malaysia current urbanization rate from year 2000 until 2025, I think it already arise from 60% to almost, I would say almost 80% currently in year 2025. So this rapid urbanization have bring a lot of changes to our city landscape in terms of how we live, the houses, the demand for commercial, the demand for industry. And because of this, the lifestyle of the people also change. So in the earlier part, I think back in 20 years ago, I think not even 20 years ago, 10 years ago, probably we have only one device, only one handphone. But today, you just imagine, our smartwatch also powered by the energy. In fact, probably ring also, because to monitor the health. So, in fact, the best part is cigarette also now become e-cigarette. So, everything is powered by the electricity and power, I would say. So, if you look again at the definition of the smart city, especially in Malaysia, under the Malaysian smart city framework, is defined as cities that use technology and ICT advancement to solve urban challenges. So we have a lot of urban challenges in Malaysia. Just name it: traffic in terms of the traffic congestion, in terms of the flood, in terms of the waste management, and etc. So these are energy become the vital part of every sector or every vertical that we look in the city operation. So when the energy system fail, the entire smart ecosystem fail, I would say. So this is why we say energy. For now, energy is, to me, is similar to telecommunication and also to the water. It's not just a utility, but it become a nervous system of the smart city. So this is why energy become a very vital for the smart city.
Thank you so much. Next, Ms. Huey.
Yes, thank you very much. And we don't have so many people, but hopefully it's going to be an encouraging discussion. So feel free to ask questions. So I think, Rika, you brought up a very, very good point. Energy is the indisputable enabler, I think, of everything that we do, right? So activities as what Farabi has mentioned, but also energy is really what enables us to unlock productivity. So why are we in cities? We are here because we live, play, spend money here, but also at the same time, we work here, right? And that's where the economic activities are being generated. So there is no way that we can actually move away from energy use. So in order for us to unlock more and more productivity, energy is absolutely the backbone of that.
Okay, thank you. Next, Professor Norasikin.
Okay, thank you, Rika. Thank you very much for inviting me. So, as a representative from a research institute, I think I'm the only one here, which is we are actually focusing on the renewable energy. And I'm delighted to be here to share my insight on the importance of energy in shaping the smart and the sustainable city. So, I agree with the two panels here. Energy is the formation, what you can say, the power for all smart city function. So from digital connectivity, in electric mobility to smart building and also the intelligent data system. So without the reliable efficient and sustainable energy system, no smart infrastructure can operate effectively. So from the research and development stand of points, continuous innovation for me, because I'm a research institution, so continuous innovation is very essential, and developing advanced energy technologies such as smart grids, energy storage, distributed renewable energy system, and data-driven energy management. And R&D enables actually cities to transition from the traditional power models to intelligent, sustainable energy ecosystem that can support the efficiency, resilience, and sustainability. So for example, the ongoing research into solar photovoltaics, green hydrogen, and AI. I think we have the AI expert here, and IoT for energy management actually is creating the pathway to cities to achieve the net zero emission while maintaining the reliability and affordability. So in this sense, energy R&D is not only the technical backbone, but also the strategic driver of the smart city transformation. So that is my stand on the what is the energy.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Next, Dr. Muzzammil.
Right, thank you very much, Rika. It's such an honor to be here, to be invited as one of the speakers with all the esteemed speakers. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. When we're talking about the energy, we have to think about before data or electric vehicle, EV, can move. So we need to have energy in place, especially on the smart energy. So a city cannot be smart if the energy itself is not ready. That simple as that, right? So we all know a smart city relies on, as mentioned earlier, about real-time data, for example, sensors, what else, automations, but none of the system could function without reliable and sustainable energy. So this is a fact. So I'm taking example of data centers. Data centers are highly energy intensive, consuming between 1 to 5 megawatt for small scale facilities, but up to 300 megawatts for hyperscale centers. So more importantly, as a cities, we aim to low carbon, resilient, clean energy, whether from solar, hydrogen, what else, other renewables, so on and so forth, become the foundations for the climate actions. So when we invest in especially this, we call it energy transition, people are talking about energy transitions, we are not just building infrastructure. So we are shaping the very heartbeat, how to say this, of our future cities. So for examples, I'm taking example in Singapore, a green building initiative, such as what we call it, a green marker certification that promotes energy efficient constructions and also operations. So yet due to the massive power demand from these data centers and all that, so the Singaporean government has imposed a 3 years moratorium on new facilities, especially to highlighting the tensions between sustainability and also this digital growth. So this is something that we have to think about. So energy is a backbone for a smart city especially. So, and I think as cities continue to evolve, striking the right balance between sustainability, innovation, and profitability, obviously. Well, Gamuda love to hear about profits. So this will be the key to ensuring that the digital backbone of smart city remain both resilient and responsible. That's all from me. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, thanks for highlighting that the smart city development needs all the powers to accelerate this innovation. You've also mentioned before about some innovations that we can do in cities to be smarter, like smart grid or sensors and advanced sensors and so on. And also you touch a bit about the standards or framework that needs to be in place also, like for example, the green building and others. So that's where we will talk more deeper in this session. So first, maybe we talk about the policy and planning or regulation framework that will be needed to accelerate this urban innovation. Maybe to Mr. Farabi first, as the head of smart infrastructure at Gamuda Technologies, and considering your background in urban planning and smart city, what are the planning strategies or regulatory innovations that could most effectively raise the energy performance of the cities or towns?
In terms of the energy performance of the city, I think for Malaysia, Malaysia have adopted ISO 37122 2019, which is smart city parameters. So in this, I have the privileges to sit in the technical committee before about establishing when Malaysia want to identically adopt the standards. So if not mistaken, there are 10 indicators with regards to energy from the 80 total of 80 indicator of the smart city. So this is very high. So we can see that energy parameter is very high mentioned in the smart city indicators under the ISO 37122. So among others, if I could remember, is EV is one of the things. I think as simple as smart street lighting, performance system, how you refurbish your street lighting from the traditional from the conventional to the smart street lighting. And among others that I remember that is very hard for the cities in Malaysia to implement is a new kind of the energy, not from the renewable energy from the, not only just from solar. Solar I think is quite common in most of the city today, but energy from the wastewater. Energy from the waste. We are talking about WTE, waste to energy. So these are the things that, being in the Ministry of Housing and Local Government before, I understand well in terms of how we cannot do, we don't have the privileges to do WTE throughout of our city because a lot of issue. And these are the things that probably need to, the intervention that need to be done by the city. But today, it's become clearer. Ministry of Housing and Local Government through Plan Malaysia has established the Smart City Maturity Journey. So under this maturity journey, it's already stated the 10 indicators stated in the 4 different levels of the smart city. They start with the early smart city, early adopters, developing smart city, leading smart city, and visionary smart city. So all the element of the energy is already embedded in every stages. It can be started as easy as with the replacement of your LED bulb. So I think for the city is very clear. The problem now is, I believe, is the financial part for most of the city to implement it. But we will discuss this in different topic for the financial part. But apart from there, another intervention that I very like is, I think 4 years ago when Datuk Seri Mahathir was the mayor of Kuala Lumpur. That time he introduced a new development for the commercial and residential must be 30% powered by renewable energy. So during that time, I think architects and planners have a hard time to design all the building. And so this is the intervention that we want to see. I'm not sure whether it is still applicable or not, but I believe this is a very good start, and I believe other cities should follow through. So these are the, so the policy innovation is not about creating a new law, but it's also must be embedding the energy performance standard into the DNA of the urban planning. And I believe when I still a student of urban planning, I think a very little topics touch on the energy, but I believe today city planning should go towards performance based. So you need to calculate how much the zone, especially when you demarcate the zoning, you must demarcate how many energy will be used, because we have a new concept, energy plus city, which is city that producing more energy than how they consume. And there is a new terminology as we are talking about the circular energy as well, circular economy. So where we are the term is prosumer. They are the producer and they are also the consumer. So I think these are the things that the intervention that need to be embedded in the city. And I believe if all cities in ASEAN especially can adopt the ISO 37122, I think it will be more concerted effort as a region.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting that. Actually, like 2 weeks ago, I and also Professor Dr. Norasikin, we went to visit Putrajaya Smart City. They also mentioned about those ISO lists, a lot of indicators that they need to tick towards the visionary cities that you mentioned. That is also, that is one of the list of indicators or standards that the cities needs to adopt to make us a smart city. So, and also, you also mentioned about the energy performance standard that needs to be in place. Maybe this is my next question to Ms. Huey. What is the most crucial element of governance to enable urban innovation? After with the one that have been mentioned before by Mr. Farabi, not only maybe in Malaysia, because you also have experience in other region, maybe in ASEAN or other outside ASEAN. What is your intake on that?
Yeah, thanks very much. And I think, we talk a lot about things like urban innovation, etc. And ultimately, when you're trying to run something, be it in a city, an agency, or even a company, you cannot run away from the policy and the regulations. But it's also not the only thing that dictates all of this, right? So I think one of the first things that we need to be very clear in terms of governance is a clear and cascadable target. Right? Because most of the time everybody says, we have to be smart, we have to be green, we have to be this. But why are we doing it, right? So you really need to be very clear in terms of, is this a national target, right? Or in the city, or in the city's case, is it a city target that has to be met? And for companies as well, now you have net zero targets, right? It's like, you have to do this, but at the same time, making sure that you're affordable and profitable. Right? So you cannot just sort of suka-suka lah. So I think having that clear and cascadable target is really key. Then the next thing that comes from there is actually a very clear governance structure. Because we are all from different places, like again, from the academia, from ministry agencies, and we work with cities which are stuck in the middle. They have the national government, then you have the sub-national government, right? We spoke about KPKT and also state governments. If the governance structure is not clear, there is no accountability. Because you go to agency kata tak boleh buat lah, cannot lah, I don't have this law. You go to the city, ni tak boleh, I tak ada punca kuasa. So having that clear governance structure to allow that target to cascade down is really crucial. So I really like what Farabi mentioned earlier about looking at energy now as a new area of urban planning. In the past, you didn't have to worry about it. So for example, some of the work that we do with cities, I take KL since we're in KL. So we've developed a net zero carbon buildings roadmap for Kuala Lumpur because this is what they need to help the industry understand in order for us to get to the 2050 target, what needs to happen. So 2030, you need to make sure that legally this needs to happen. These are some of the policies you can put in. What are the technologies that's out there that they can afford? Because the industry is the one that has to respond. The city can make the law, but katakan the industry goes, oh, you're killing me, man, I don't want to do this. It's also not going to happen. So it's really making sure that you have that perspective from the external stakeholders to allow the cities or the country to make the policy decision in order for them to know how are they contributing to that ultimate target. Countries net zero target, states net zero target, company net zero target. So how do you actually cascade that down? So it's also one of the first that KL, this time around for the roadmap, has external stakeholders like ST, the Energy Commission, Suruhan Jaya Tenaga, and also REHDA, which is the Real Estate Association, as part of the governance structure in the roadmap. So that when the city or the government makes a policy, it's not just stuck inside lah, suka-suka sendiri lah, shock sendiri. They need to make sure they actually engage the people that are going to support them, like companies and whatnot, so that the implementation is actually going to happen. So to summarize, clear cascadable targets and also a clear governance structure for accountability is crucial for urban innovation.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for highlighting that it needs multi-stakeholders and multi-level, subnational, national, stakeholders to together in one framework. So maybe and also to set detailed and specific targets for the cities. Maybe next to Professor Dr. Norasikin as the academia perspective, after hearing this policy and targets and planning that should be in place, how the cities can reach these targets using emerging technologies such as like renewable energy, storage technologies that can help smart cities to achieve sustainability goals.
Okay, thank you for the question. I think from our experience at SERI or at the institute, actually renewable energy, we can say that renewable energy and storage are truly the backbone of the sustainable smart city, because like I have been said by the previous my panelist friend here, that at least 30%, right, to install the renewable energy system for the smart cities. So for research institute, we are actually focusing for the innovation. So the focus, what we are doing now is more on the next generation solar technologies, because currently the technology that you can see is based on the first generation of solar, which is on the silicon base. But what we think for the coming years, maybe 10 years after this, because the R&D is still in the what we say in the pipeline, so we are going to have like a more flexible solar panel, which can be not only can give the aesthetic value of the building, but also can be used indoor application. So I cannot say that this is just the or to replace the current technology, but it's a complement. Whatever parts or area that cannot be comply with the or apply with the current technology, we will apply with this new technology. So we call it next generation solar, which is more environmental friendly. But currently, the issue still ongoing research by most of the researchers in the world to settle the problem in terms of the durability, degradation, and stability of the technology. So and then in SERI also we are advancing like a hybrid system, actually. Hybrid system that can combine that solar energy, for example, with the battery storage and also the smart grid management. So this is, I think, the system which is very essential for city to monitor, predict, and balance energy use in the real time, which is can reduce the emission and improve the energy efficiency. In essence, renewable energy and storage technology makes cities much more cleaner, smarter, and more resilient. Then we also, I want to share that we have one case study at the Penang State. So we call it Bertam Smart City. So this is a partnership, 3P, not 4P. We discussed with the panel down there before. It's a 4P, but this one is public-private partnership. So, but my friend here, they said we need 4P, public, private, people partnership. So the involvement, I mean, the inclusivity of the partnership should be cover all level. So so for the Penang Smart City or the Bertam Smart City, we actually have done one study using one simulation of prediction. We use the IES, International Energy Solution So that is our actually simulation or software that we use, and this is the city that we actually we retrofitted the building. Yeah. So this calibration is in between SERI UKM Pakarunding. We have our consultancy or the private part, yeah, consultancy, and also technology company is we have the manufacturer here, Jinko Solar, but now Jinko is already closed, so we only have one now. Longi, we have Longi here in Malaysia, and we just have the signing ceremony with Longi because this is the only company left for the solid silicon base. But the other, we have another company by United States, which is First Solar, right, in Kulim. So, but the one, the technology is different. They produce the thin film based solar panel. We call it cadmium telluride. Okay, so the pilot building that we choose for the study in this Bertam Smart City is the MOS, actually Abdullah Fahin MOS, Kepala Batas Hospital, Industrial Training Institute Kepala Batas, and a Public Works Department office. So that's the building that we use as our case study, and we also implement the digital twin technology. Okay, so what is the advantage or the benefit from the smart system in the Bertam city is we actually have done the simulation, and also we suggest that Bertam Smart City can reduce the energy consumption and CO2 emission by 69.7%. Okay, so we have installed about 41 kilowatt peak across the key building that I've mentioned before, and the power is about 57,400 kilowatt hour per year, and it's reduced about 835 tons CO2 annually. So this is the based on the environmental part of that. And we also have we also optimize the energy use via the smart technology. Like I said, we are using the IoT and digital twin. And also for the resilient and reliability, we call it is a microgrid actually. Microgrid for the robust energy system, which can reduce dependency on the main grid. Okay, and for the economic and social benefit, actually, of course, it can reduce the utility bills for the resident, and also to optimize the energy consumption. And of course, there is a job creation actually for the system that we have installed, and also our quality of life improve, better indoor comfort, reliable services, and environmental benefit. So this project actually is in line with support the Penang 2030 vision. Okay, because this is initiated by the state government. Okay, so it will like balance between the economic growth and the environmental protection. And regarding maybe to scaling up, I think for the ASEAN region, so we can actually replicate this model smart city across the ASEAN. Based on we can start with like with local baseline and feasibility study for other cities, and also we can design a modular pilot or living lab approach. So this pilot scale can be upgraded to the whole scale of the cities for the other ASEAN region cities. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Prof, for highlighting the different types of technologies that was implemented in the case study in the Penang Smart City, including the next generation of solar. I think that is very interesting to see the trends, and then the microgrid and IoT. Maybe my next question is related to the emerging technologies also to Dr. Muzzammil. What kind of other smart energy solutions in ASEAN's urban developments and which technologies or business models to scale first over the next 5 years, and what gaps must cities or investors close now to ride that wave?
Right, thank you very much, Rika, again. Well, it's quite a long questions. Let me address one by one. First is about, I think, market outlook. Based on industry foresight plans, we see that storage-enabled smart energy solution will move from R&D pilots to procurement, especially in ASEAN cities. So, because as we know that, well, we are talking about solar, most of the discussions, it's already the cheapest new bulk, how to say this, new bulk power. So, solar with storage, especially, may become cheaper than gas by 2026, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and coal by 2028. Yeah. So, well, this I quote from the recent Bloomberg, report that I just read last night, and Malaysian national roadmap, such as NETR, also now call out for batteries as a flagship grid enabler, and in fact, Malaysia has joined the pledge at COP29 in Baku to globally deploy 1,500 gigawatts of energy storage and add or refurbish 25 million kilometers of grid infrastructure by 2050. So that's the commitment and about the market outlook. Right, so let's move to the other question that you asked just now related to the technology that which one will scale first, and also the business model. We see that lithium ion BESS especially is one of these high potentials due to the fact that it's the cheapest at the moment by per kilowatt, and it's fast to deploy, ideal for frequency or ancillary services and all that. So then we see that behind the meters and commercial energy storage. So if we look into the segment of commercial buildings, shopping malls, hospitals, what else, data centers, so all this will adopt the storage for demand charge management, and also part of we call it smart, smart microgrids, yeah. And amongst the business model that could also win is, we call it urban BESS, public-private blended financing, where actually cities or utilities grant land and grid, grid access with private SPV, for example, to build and operate this BESS. So this is something that attractive business model that currently people are talking. And another business model that I think will lead as well is solar plus storage, or energy as a service with a long-term offtake, 10 to 15 years, with no capex for municipal loads such as transit depots or what else, water plant, for example. So this is where actually the third-party ownerships could reduce upfront capital need for cities and also the building owners. So in short, however, there is a gap that we need to work together, especially on market design and also regulations. Many ASEAN markets at the moment still lack a clear compensation for frequency response, fast response, or VPP, for example, participation as well. If regulators, cities, and investors move quickly to fit this market design, financing, and also permitting, we will see storage, this storage-enabled system, urban system scale will go fast and fairly across this region.
Right.
That's for now. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for highlighting the market outlooks of several smart energy technologies like lithium, that is very important, lithium ion, and then smart microgrid. Maybe to Mr. Farabi, after you hear all these emerging technologies, how is Gamuda implementing these energy management systems like storage that have been mentioned before and other energy technology to create smarter cities or towns?
Basically, I think energy is one of the industry that Gamuda is already venture, and you can know further if you. I think I would encourage the audience today to visit our booth at the booth as well, so you can understand further. But as far as Gamuda technology is concerned, we are creating a tools that could help the city manager to manage energy very well. So among the tools that we are developing today is we call as a city operating system and also the digital twin. So these are, I would say, embedded together. So city operating system is a tools that can measure the performance of the city, not only in terms of the energy, but other performance as well. So it's become a brain to the city. So these are the things that we are developing. I think for audience knowledge, we are developing an island in Penang called Penang Silicon Island. It's a 2,300 acres of reclamation lands. So it's just started the reclamation about 10%. So if you fly from KL to Penang, before you arrive to the airport, you can see the reclamation. So this is a 2,300 we want to claim as a smart and sustainable city. In fact, despite the island is yet to be developed, we already get the Diamond 5 of the low carbon city from the NGTC. So I think it is a quite, in terms of the master planning concept, everything is there. So what we are developing, especially what Prof mentioned about digital twin. So digital twin, why digital twin? Because digital twin is a powerful tools. Is a replication of any buildings, power grids, or in fact the entire city. You can visualize in the digital form, from the physical form to the digital form. So from this, it need to be embedded with the real-time sensors and data, so we can get data usage in terms of the data emission, data consumption, and etc. at the real-time basis. So these are the things that we hope that the city administrator will embrace and also use this, because the most important thing here is about data, I would say. So we can have a lot of, you can install a lot of devices, IoT sensor, but the most important thing is the data need to be transformed into informations, and information to be transformed into insight for the city managers to make a decision. So for me, if you look, I always imagine, I'm always, as a mayor, I always have ambition to become a mayor, but it definitely couldn't materialize forever. But however, if I'm a mayor, if I know I have, let's say, 20 zone in my jurisdictions, which zone actually consume energy. And that is not my call, because usually city managers or the mayors, local council, local government doesn't manage the energy directly. But however, they can do through their approach of nature-based solution approach. For example, it is from the information, the insight from the digital twin city operation center or command center, we call it as a command center, the city manager can make a call, can make a decision. Okay, landscape architect, my landscape architect, please study. This zone 22, consume a lot of energy. What are the mitigation that we can do? We need to plant more trees, but what kind of trees? So these are the things. So in terms of the urban planning itself, you can embed more water bodies to the area to balance, I think, to balance in terms of the physical planning. If that, and so because this, we know that any area that consumes a lot of energy will create a lot of after effect, like urban heat island and etc. So I think these are the things that we want to prevent. So I believe the tools that we are developing now through our city operating system and also the digital twin will help the mayors and decision makers to make a better decision. So these are the things that we are doing for now, especially for, and also I think in our planning for any township, we also energy KPI into the master planning at the earlier parts, and also ESG linked township planning lah. So we try to align all the ESG, SDG from the 17 goals, especially in our master planning.
Right. Thanks for highlighting. Not only we need we need to install on the ground, but also we need to track and monitor the implementation of it and the impact after we install those technologies. Maybe next to Ms. Huey, in addition to all the technologies that mentioned before, like storage and other tools, are there any cities that have successfully shown other energy innovations or technologies as part of urban development?
That's a great question, and I really love like all these really cool emerging technologies that, Prof, I'm learning so much, and I think some of our cities will probably be able to benefit from those new research. I'm going to go one step back from the super canggih digital twin, energy modeling, and all that to one of the key challenges. I think not just in places like KL you don't feel it, but once you venture out of the cities, or even in our poorer cities, it's actually electrification. So in ASEAN, we still have quite a lot of cities that actually have places that are not electrified. So one of the things that we did with one of our colleague cities in Africa, in Johannesburg, so it's a big city, also a metropolitan, but they also have a lot of informal settlements that do not have electricity. So we talk about leaving no one behind, right? What's the point of having a city when people actually cannot be part of that activity in basically reaping the wealth, or at least having a decent quality of life? So what we did in Joburg with the informal settlements is that we actually had solar microgrid. So it doesn't mean that we must get everything wired up to the grid, even, for example, in rural areas in like Sarawak and Sabah, right? So because of the fact that we are moving to renewables, it's a fantastic time for us to look at decentralized generation, right? So they actually do not rely on the grid. They can get clean energy, and because they are not a data center guzzling megawatts, right? It's actually very much sufficient for them to use. And if you couple it with storage that's getting more and more affordable, that's a fantastic way to lift a lot of people out of poverty, as well as allowing them to also partake in economic activity. So that's also looking at the inclusive climate action side of things besides the canggih-manggih stuff lah.
Yeah, thank you so much for highlighting that part. Also, inclusivity is very important. So not only we go to the emerging and very innovative technologies, but we still need to think about the people. Next, maybe after we hear about these technologies and innovations, how to finance it, how to fund these technologies. Maybe to Prof. Dr. Norasikin first. You mentioned a lot about this emerging solar and storage. How is the cost of these technologies over the next few years? What cities can make it least cost optimization or effective and efficient implementation of solar in the lowest capex and opex?
Okay, thank you. I think based on our project, which is the case study of Bertan Smart City, as our empirical anchor, the projected decline, we found that based on the study, about 20 to 30% overall for the integrated system, which is PV plus storage plus the digital control. So this is the forecast. Why I said that is why it's reduced because of the for future there is a manufacturing scale up, and also the cheaper balance of system component, and we will have like more efficient power electronic. Maybe we can have like from our semicon industry, and also software enable the operation and maintenance savings. And about the PV module cost, since that, like I said, we have become more advanced, okay? And then we have a more efficient solar panel, because previously when we start with the first panel, the power produced is only about 200, 300, 500 watt per panel. But now with the new advance of technology, we call it the back contact technology, we can have about 670 watt per panel. So you just imagine last time when the rooftop, we have to cover about the whole rooftop with the panel, but now we only can have like 4 panel. Maybe for the 10 kilowatt you can have about 10 panel. It's not like last time you have to measure whether your roof area space is enough or not for you to install the panel. But now because of the power produced per panel is much more higher, because it's more efficient with the current technology. So you can, I mean, you can have, have no limitation. I mean, the area become smaller than before, and the price also reasonable. I think reasonable currently, and also, we predicted that the cost reduction will be maybe 25%. Okay, so and also for the technology, like I mentioned about the flexible one. So this one also will be much more cheaper for future. So that is the forecast. Okay, and about the battery and storage costs, currently we are, or even EV, we are using the lithium base, right? So, but the next year, the sodium become much more cheaper. So sodium, yeah, this is solid state. So because we have like, we know that the solar and other resources of renewable have the intermittent issue. So the storage become much more, I mean, important. And then the battery technology also increase. I mean, the efficiency increase, and then the like I said, compare lithium and sodium, because the sodium material can have a very, I mean, the volume of the material is elsewhere, which is it will make the battery much more cheaper, and also control and smart management. So this is like a marginal upfront cost, but large operational saving for the control and smart system. In our simulation, smart optimization contributes substantially to the overall levelized cost of energy reduction, actually. And also, like I said before, based on the Bertam city, and the modeling, we show the potential about 69.7% energy and carbon reduction. So when we combine the intervention and the rooftop PV, okay, and also there is the second question that maybe about how to justify the life cycle value, because we need to have the life cycle value. So actually cities must like present the data driven, as we know, life cycle based evidence when evaluating the project. So this is very important, especially when you want to see all the costs from the beginning until the end for the life cycle cost. And we should have like a very good real pilot project to have the pilot the performance and yield data. And also we need a very reliable and resilient avoided cost quantification for each of the, the component that we install, and also environmental and social life cycle metric that we have to include in our project design. For example, the LCA, life cycle analysis, and also operational data for the digital system. So there's a few things that I think we need to put for overall system for the pilot project. So I can say that overall, don't buy capex alone. So it should require the LCOE, the levelized cost of energy or electricity, plus the LCCA, life cycle cost analysis, and also the resilient value in the bids, you know. So that's the important thing. And also require the pilot proof, and then also adopt the performance contracts for the project, and also the value digital control. Okay, so another thing, the last one is the factor, like we call it factor circularity. So we should include the end of life and also the recycling obligation in the tender, especially. Okay, so this end of life management of panel, I just want to inform all of you that we are currently developing the guidelines with the SEDA Malaysia, Sustainable Energy Authority Development. So hopefully by next year we can publicize the document. So we work on how that the panel waste, to manage the panel waste, whether EPR or take back or other, to make sure that we have a circularity or circular economy for managing that the waste that we projected that it will be one of our big issue for future coming soon, because we have the first cohort that will be the retiring of the solar farm based on the feed-in tariff project, the first one programmed by the government.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Prof, for highlighting the first about the decreasing trends of costs for solar PV and storage over the next few years, and then how to also include other factors in the calculation, not only capex but also LCOE, LCCA, life cycle analysis, to also put in the calculation. So just now we also, I think Dr. Muzzammil already mentioned about the financing mechanism such as public-private financing. But then that needs regional collaboration to accomplish that, whether from government, private sectors, and also academia and public. So ASEAN cities might face similar challenges, not only in Malaysia, but also other countries in ASEAN, including, because the rapid growth of population and the climate pressures, the climate change pressures. So how can regional networks accelerate knowledge sharing and joint action on smart city energy solution?
Right. Love to answer when it comes to collaboration and strategic partnerships. Discussions. Well, we all know that ASEAN countries, cities, may be diverse in culture and also development levels, but we share the same challenges. I love, when mentioned by Ms. Huey just now about the electrifications and all that in the rural areas. So it's same, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, so on and so forth. We facing the same issues. Rapid urbanization, rising energy demand, for example, and also growing climate risk as well. So the key to overcome all these things, challenges, it's not just about technology is right? So it's about collaborations. So why regional collaborations matters? Because no single city or country can solve energy transition by their own alone. So there are several, regional networks already in place. I think most of us are already aware, including is one of the example. ASEAN, we have ASEAN Smart City Networks. And this year we have a launch of ASEAN Power Grid Financing Facilities, APGF. And most recent, which is yesterday, launching of ASEAN Plan of Action for Energy Cooperation 2026-2030. So, big congratulations to ACE for mooted the ideas and all that. And so these are major steps. Towards accelerating. We call it cross-border grid projects, energy investment, obviously. And when we look from microgrids, for example, to EV infrastructure. So all this requires, data sharing, what else, standards alignment, policy coordinations and all that. So this is actually, I love to give some example, analogy. So in other words, when Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta pilots and energy storage, for example, or digital grid projects, or digital kind of, twin cities and all that. So the lesson learned should instantly, I think, inform similar initiative in Phnom Penh, in Vientiane, and all that. So it should be same, yeah. So while for us, just to share a little bit where I'm coming from, Malaysia Industry Government Group for High Technology, we are an agency under the purview of MOSTI, Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovations. We name, MITE as a partnership hub where we bring the triple helix or even four, the government, industry, academia and also the people. To facilitate, we provide a platform where we can discuss the gaps and all that. So we continue to play our strategic and also active role in consolidating initiative, promoting dialogues, and also fostering a collaboration among the key stakeholders. So we provide end-to-end facilitations from idea, initiation and how to say this, hosting also forums or dialogue for such kind of this AABF as well, to conducting business matching and also ensuring this successful deployment through our investment firm as well, which is Venture Tech. So at MITE, how we push forward this strategic collaboration among the stakeholders. We planning to, for example, institutionalize ASEAN Smart Energy Leadership Programs, and also looking into there's one ASEAN Green Finance Mechanism that pool fund from across border energies and also the Smart City project. So together we can make, the project not only in Malaysia but also within the region as well. We can work together. So I would like to end my discussion today. So our tagline is always, let's start with conversations, then we collaborate, then we co-create together, and we make it together. We make it happen together. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for mentioning all the examples of regional collaborations and initiatives that have been laid out in the past few years, especially yesterday, and also the way forward. So maybe that has been a very insightful discussion. So to close this session, I would like to invite each panelist to say the way forward or key takeaways or call to action for any stakeholders like industries or governments. What could be the priorities for the next few years to ensure these smart and sustainable cities?
Okay, for me, having said whatever that I have said before, I believe that data-driven energy management is mandatory for all cities throughout ASEAN. So if we establish this, every local government need to establish their energy monitoring and reporting within their digital platform. Through this, we can have a very good platform to see the future of the energy and managing the energy in more sustainable way.
Right. Thank you. Ms. Huey, your closing statement?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty much summing up what everybody has been saying. I think the key thing that the cities need to be looking at for ASEAN is we have a lot of similarities. Let's try and learn from each other, right? So the knowledge sharing part is something that we don't talk about. Cities are not asking, what do we need to do? Most of the time they come to us and say, how do you all do it? You know, how did you sort of circumvent those problems? So I think making sure that we continue this kind of platforms from the ASEAN side, you know, and also via agencies and forums like this, let's keep the dialogue going so that cities can learn from each other.
Thank you. Next, Professor Sikit.
Okay, I have actually two focus area, I think, that we can give a priority, especially for the next 2 years, for example, for the next 5 years. The first one is about building integrated and data-driven urban energy system. So this is the priority that we have to put, like the integration of the technology that we talked just now. And also the second one is to embedding circular economy for me and life cycle management in city energy planning. So if the ASEAN cities can unite around these two priorities, and also for Malaysia, so the integrating smart renewable system and embracing circular economy practice, we can actually unlock this both innovation and sustainability at the same time. So the partnership is another part of that we think that we have we should have like a regional partnership where I would like to inform that we have the Southeast Asia Energy Transition Collaboration, we call it, among the CSOs and NGOs. So this is one of the platform that we can get or you can promote or connect with all the level from the bottom to up, not only from the policy enforcement to the bottom. So that's my summary for all the talk today. Yeah,
Thank you, Prof. Last but not least, Dr. Muzzammil.
Right, I think I've been talking a lot, so just a simple, short and sweet from me. City cannot be smart if its energy is not. Let's work together. So I would like to invite all of you, the panel speakers, and also from the organizer as well, and from the floor, to work together with Mike. So inviting all of you coming to our place, and let's start with something. For start, I mean, discussion, have a conversations and all that. So a lot of things need to be done, especially moving towards these climate actions and all that. So we are really focusing on climate technology at the moment. So by all means, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. With that, I conclude this session. Please give a round of applause for all the esteemed panelists here.